Welcome to another episode of the Paul My Back Show. It's me, host Sebastian West. Follow me on Instagram @_Sebastian West, where you can check out my artwork and all of its splendor. If you don't like what I'm kicking, like what I'm spitting, just know you tuned to this. The cloth is different. Check out the film The Shift. It's highly underrated. Salute to Angel Studios, which is they dropped Sounds of Freedom early in the year, which was another dope slept on movie. I suggest people go watch that. And here's another one that Angel Films produced. It's The Shift. I never heard of this director before, who is Brock Heasley. Never heard of him. You know, I went through IMDb, searched his filmography, and it seems to look like it could be his first film. I could be wrong, but that's what I researched. Seems like it could be his first film. It's starring Neil McDonough. I hope I pronounced this guy's name right. And Christopher Poloha. I'm familiar with Neil. We're just gonna call him Neil. I'm familiar with Neil. I've seen Neil's in several films. It gives me Looper-esque scenarios, or if you're familiar with Looper, it gives you that sort of direction per se, right? So a gentleman meets a young lady, wants to be with this young lady. All of a sudden, the young lady gets moved to another time zone. Another time. Excuse me. He meets a guy who has the power to do this, to shift the time zones, right? So it was ultimately a test. He's testing a guy, the guy's going through trials and tribulations. And all this gentleman wants him to do was say, basically kneel, for the lack of a better term. He wanted him to kneel and just submit to him. That, you need me, you come to me, I can give you everything you want, I can even give your wife back. I mean, this guy goes through all sorts of things. Wife is gone, kid is gone. He ends up marrying the woman that was sent to another time zone. He meets a waitress, she gets sent to another time zone. He meets a guy that seems to have this, that helps him, that knows a little bit about this guy. He was a familiar actor too. Heavyset guy. Has this watch, and this watch is the key to get back to his wife in the other time zone. So a lot of things are going on, right? And this guy seems to have this much power. So, and hope and faith keeps this guy moving. The one that's going through the trials and tribulation. He's hopeful. And he knows that it's going to work out. Something within him is telling him that it's going to work out. Just stay the course. You stay the course and things will work out in his favor. Ultimately it does. And I appreciate films like this that is decent. It's not sexually driven. It's not violent. It's not violently driven. It's just a good movie with acting in it. And it's a dope metaphor within the film. Has a message, is a dope metaphor. So that could be a lesson in itself. You know what I mean? Like, if you just stay the course, things will all work out for you. You know what I mean? That's why I say it at the end of my episode. So, okay, climax of the film. Like, he stays the course. This gentleman who has this power on this particular timeline. Now, as he's going through the trial and error, he meets a former self of him. I'm talking about Christopher, the guy, the actor. He meets a guy like him in another timeline. He has the women, the money, etc. He didn't like that he saw himself in that manner. He didn't like it. So that kind of fueled the flame for him to keep pushing, going the right way. All right. So in the end, the guy tried to make him an offer he couldn't refuse. He had a choice between giving the waitress who was sent to another timeline, her life was in shambles. He had a choice. You can either send the waitress back to her family in her timeline, or I can give you your wife back. All you gotta do is, you just submit to me, I'll give you your wife back. Alright? He chose to give the waitress her life back. An act of selflessness. And the guy with all his power can understand this, right? He couldn't understand why he would do such things and why you go through this torment. He kept referring to he. Why you have so much faith in him and he and thing. And if you know, you know. Within this film, if you know, you know. So I suggest everyone go watch The Shift. Show some support. We support the trash, so why not support something with a message within the film? The Shift, man. Give The Shift 8 out of 10. When I went to the movie theater, it was just dolo. Like, meaning nobody was in there. It was an empty theater. It's magnificent, by the way, which just felt like I was at home. So, man, go check out The Shift. Always remember, slow run is better than no run. If you don't like my reviews, cut me some slack. And if that ain't good enough, pardon my back. Never forget, let all things be done decently and in order. I'm up out of here, man. Like, share, subscribe. Salute.